Good morning, almost afternoon, depending on where you're at in the world. It is 11:23 a.m. Central Standard Time on January 18th, 2022. I hope that everyone is doing well everywhere in the world. I'm going to do a quick little breakdown on something I think is going on, and this involves Tonga, the tsunami, the volcano, the whole ordeal. What we are looking at is a 1987 cartoon. Yes, I'm kind of dating myself. Yes, I used to watch this little cartoon called G.I. Joe. And I want to show you how prevalent this is to current events today. Now, this is just a small little snippet for you to listen to. It's literally only going to last a few seconds. Just listen.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
So why did I show you that? Okay, well, there were movies out. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, a snake. The Rise of Cobra, directed by Stephen Sommers, blah, 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 blah. An elite military unit comprised of special operatives known as G.I. Joe, operating out of the pit, like a snake pit, takes on an evil organization by a notorious arms dealer. What's the dealer's name? Cobra. Snake Eyes. Oh, Snake Eyes, and he's with the good guys. G.I. Joe Origins is directed by Robert Schwenker and stars yada 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 as Snake Eyes. As then this person was Storm Shadow, Calm Before the Storm, Shadows, Shadow Games, plus samurai weaving, blah blah blah. The legacy of the G.I. Joe throughout the years dive into the story G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe has had 3 live-action films theatrically released, which now includes Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, although the series is a mixed bag that has yet to fully capture everything fans who grew up with G.I. Joe in 1980s love about the property. Check this out. Animated film spin-off from the animated series G.I. Joe, a real American hero picking up where the series ended. Following the previous scenes and a foiled attack of the Statue of Liberty, Serpentor is now in command of Cobra and Cobra Commander schemes. Snakes, reptilians. That's what's going on. Well, does anybody happen to know anything that's familiar? Is anybody familiar with this movie at all? I certainly hope so, because guess what they talk about in The Rise of Cobra? They happen to be talking about rods of God. That's in the movie. That's right. In fact, I've actually got a couple here I'm going to show you. This is actually in the movie. This is a guy doing a little narration.
Cutscenes of this defense
See?
system in action.
This is from the movie.
Metallic rods falling to Earth, gaining speed through the atmosphere.
And where does it go to? London. And takes it out. This is from the movie. Now, why am I showing you that? Well, look at this. Valiant Thor arrived in a ship which landed in Alexandria, Virginia in an agricultural field. According to Dr. Strange's Thor, was about 6 feet tall and 185 pounds with brown hair, wavy hair, blah, blah, blah. This actually happened in the 60s, folks. That's right. This happened in the 60s. It's very well known. Oh, excuse me, 1957. I beg your pardon. 1957, he met with President Eisenhower. That's right. This really happened. This is a real deal. Valiant Thor. Look it up. Read into this. Well, how does that tie to rods from God? Well, Thor, the god of thunder. His hammer being indestructible, going through the air, lightning, power, energy. That. Let's take a little watch. Let's watch this last little snippet here real quick.
Or its more common nickname, rods from God, is a terrifying concept that could change the course of warfare forever. In essence, it is the hypothetical destruction of huge land masses via giant metal rods that are dropped from the Earth's orbit. The destructive force comes from the kinetic energy of the rods gaining velocity as it falls, and impacting the ground at very high speeds.
Shadow? What?
How it would work.
Storm Shadow?
A pair of satellites orbiting several hundred miles above the Earth act as the weapon system. The first satellite is tasked with targeting and communication, pinpointing any location on Earth with precision. It communicates with a second satellite that carries gigantic metal rods that would be up to 20 feet in length and 1 foot in diameter. Satellite 1 can instruct Satellite 2 to drop one or more of the rods, wherever and whenever it is commanded to. The guided rods fall at a whopping speed of over 36,000 feet per second. This means
Think
that a
about that.
tungsten rod can easily hit a city with the same explosive power of an intercontinental ballistic missile, causing catastrophic damage both on and deep beneath the surface. Origins of kinetic weaponry.
Reaching the heart of a
The
volcano.
idea of kinetic weaponry is far from a new concept. From the ancient humans' use of rocks, clubs, and catapults to modern-day bullets and missiles, humans have consistently been coming up with new ways to use kinetic energy to hurl things at one another. Perhaps the most notable use of kinetic energy projectiles in recent history occurred during the Vietnam War, when the USA regularly dropped what they called lazy dunk bombs. These were essentially metal cylinders, less than 2 inches long, that were dropped by the hundreds from planes onto the battlefields below. These tiny pieces of metal could reach speeds of up to 500
We've already been
miles
doing it,
per
folks,
hour,
since
causing
Vietnam.
unknown damage. The principle behind all of these weapons is the same. The goal is to hit your targets with something dense that moves incredibly fast. As this kind of weapon need for complex systems or precarious chemicals, it is highly desirable to the militaries of the world to develop kinetic warfare in ever more devastating ways. Project THOR. In the early 2000s,
Project THOR.
the Pentagon decided to try and make the hypothetical rods from God into a reality.
In the 60s,
by
they
creating
decided
a
to do it.
project named Project THOR. Despite
After
having
meeting
the
with
technology
Valiant
to
Thor in
deploy such
1957,
weapons at will, many factors
named it
led
after
to the
him.
eventual abandoning of the project. The success
Which
of
was
this
a lie.
project is prohibited by one overarching factor: money.
See that?
Literally cost
Did you
a
see what they
bomb,
showed you?
with
MK Ultra?
estimates ranging from 24 million to
Gosh.
230 million per rod to transport to orbit. It is clear that the weight of the tungsten rods are a major obstacle to the cost-effectiveness
Funny
of
how
the
they
project.
all of a sudden found that there was $13 trillion that was missing.
Nobody likes the idea
From
of
the
an
Pentagon?
unstoppable weapon hanging over
Where'd
their
that go?
heads. This system would be very detrimental to international relations, likely setting off an arms race in space. Rocket logistics.
Arms
Once
race?
launched, the speed of the rods
Space
would be so
Force?
high that some could possibly vaporize while plummeting through the atmosphere before ever penetrating the surface. Also, due to their immense weight and required distance to travel, there is a high chance that the rods could be thrown off trajectory and miss their intended target altogether. Comets. A more feasible plan would be for nations to divert comets that are flying near the Earth just so much that they would smash into their targets.
Are we seeing a lot of
This tactic
meteors?
could be used to also hide their true
A lot more
intentions
lately?
and pretend they had nothing to do with it. Despite being theoretically
Think about that.
possible,
So March 16th, 1957 is when they met with Valiant Thor. And then in the 1960s they had the idea? No. They named it after him. So that was actually a clip that we saw from the G.I. Joe movies. And I just kind of did all the other stuff to kind of show you relations. Well, guess what? We actually have rods from God. Like, we actually have them. Like, real deal. You can look at rods from God, go over to images, and start looking. Like, what in the world? We've actually already got it. But I was actually forwarded a video, and this is why I think this is very possible of what's going on. I'm going to show you something that was forwarded to me. This video was forwarded to me. It's from a TikTok feed. The guy's at SunnyRed55. He talks a little off, and I mean, there's a little bit of language in this next part, so I actually kind of muted it so that I can show you, because he's trying to talk you through it, but I'll talk you through it, and I'll use my cursor so you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and play, and I want you to watch. Watch right here. You see that? It moved from here to here, and then goes kersploosh. See, it goes from here to here, and then goes kersploosh into the water right there, and then a few seconds later, boom. See that? You're going to back it up from here to here. Now, the clouds are moving this way. It goes from here to here. And the clouds are moving that way. Then kersploosh down under the surface, and boom. Now, watch this.
Something ain't right. You know,
He's kind of going off, so
telling y'all, man.
watch this. This is in Tonga before the explosion. Now, y'all tell me, would it not sound like that? I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Please make sure to hit the like button so this can get viewed all over the place. Please share all over so that people can kind of start waking up. I mean, this is something that is extremely important. Folks, we are living out revelations. As stated in Mark 8:18, they have eyes to see, but do not see, and ears to hear, but do not hear. For they are a rebellious house. Who are those? The sheeple. so that they may be ever seeing but never perceiving, and ever hearing but never understanding. Otherwise they might turn and be forgiven. Think about this, folks. We have eyes that are open and ears to hear. We are perceiving things that are going on. I mean, if you really start thinking about it, it's making a lot of sense. Here's a parable to the sower. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Hear me. Look at this. Matthew 13, 15 to 16. Look. For this people's hearts has grown callous. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Folks, this is why I'm always telling you, eyes open, and love is the only way forward. Please make sure you share this and hit the like button. Have a good day.